Why hello folks, it's Saul with another video. Over somewhere I'm going to have a list of all the cool patrons and sponsors that help out the channel. Thank you very much. And we're just going to get right to it. We're right here in the PTR that had opened up much earlier than I thought it would, which is a really cool thing. What I'm going to be featuring for over the next couple minutes is to go through just the list of essences that are going to be available in the upcoming 8.2 patch, the Rise of Azara. So the really quick thing that's going on here, I'll just try to summarize really quickly. We're going to get a new feature for the Heart of Azeroth where we're going to take these special essences and we'll be able to imbue it into this UI that you see right above me here. And this UI, you see the center trait here. It says that there's an empty major slot. We just slot stuff into that and we'll get both a major and a minor power. And in these smaller slots here, we're able to imbue these with essences and we'll be able to get access to a minor power. But anyway, we're just going to go through the list of all the many essences that are available because there are many different requirements in order to obtain these essences. And presumably there are probably going to be ranks that require you to basically do the same thing, but better. So let's just get right to it, okay? So first off, we have Aegis of the Deep. The elements protect you, reducing the damage you take from each attack for 10 seconds. To get this, you need to get honored with the Unshackled faction. The Unshackled is more than likely, at least on the Horde side, because I'm on a Horde character, is one of the factions that we're going to meet on Nazjatar. So we just need to get honored and ta-da. This is probably the reputation-based essence that we're likely going to see in 8.2, and probably the one that we'll be able to very easily get to like the absolute max level. The Anima of Life and Death. Draw upon your own vitality to sear your foes, sacrificing health to deal fire damage to all nearby enemies equal to the health lost. Pretty sweet. To get this, we need to complete a Mythic Plus dungeon at level 4 or higher. So this sounds like the Mythic Plus essence, and I'm pretty sure that if we complete a much higher level, then we'll be able to get a higher rank eventually. Alright, Azeroth's Dying Gift. It is a 1 minute cooldown that reduces all damage you take for by 20% for 4 seconds, which is, well, this is pretty sweet. This looks like it's the PvP based essence. To get this, you need to claim a weekly PvP war chest in season 3 or later. So yeah, this is the PvP one. So in order to get this, you'll need to complete a certain number of either battlegrounds or rated content or whatnot in order to get the 500 conquests you need to get that PvP war chest. Now, for those of you who don't PvP very often, you can at the very least just kind of keep going. You don't, it's not like that 500 conquest requirement resets every week. You could just kind of keep going until you hit that 500. And once you do, cool, you're done. For the hardcore folks, this is probably something like, I don't know, get a whole bunch of war chests during the season or just throughout the rest of the expansion, so you'll eventually get the higher rank of this essence. Engine of Ceaseless Progress. This is a 2 minute cooldown. It creates a field of Azerite energy at your current location for 10 seconds. While standing in this area, you gain a stack of Engine of Haste, Engine of Mastery, and Engine of Critical Strike every 0.5 seconds. Cool. This is a little curious because to get this one, all you have to do is to complete Operation Mechagon. But that just seems to be like the normal mode version of the dungeon. So I'm sure we're going to see like more difficult types of dungeons later. And at least at the moment, Mechagon is, well, it's a mega dungeon. It has 8 or so bosses. And at least from the looks of it, we're not going to see a Mythic Plus version of it yet, but chances are we'll see like a Mythic Plus version of it later, and that's how we're probably going to get the higher ranks. Memory of Lucid Dreams, 3 minute cooldown. Clear your mind and attune yourself with the Heart of Azeroth, increasing your mana generation rate by 100% for 10 seconds. Damn, that's, wow, an actual mana regen essence. Oh, and on top of this, because I'm a tank, Shield of the Righteous recharge time reduced by 50%. This is, wow, this is actually pretty sweet. Okay, to get this, complete the quest Azerite for the Horde and this is the island adventure one. See, it would be this one. See, I'm sure that there are folks that were kind of, I don't know, they were predicting, dude, we're probably going to have to do content that we really don't like to get like the most awesome essence. And I have a feeling that this might be one of them. So this will be interesting. I'll be interested to see how you folks at home and on the toilet react to this one. I'm really cool. I haven't looked at the minor powers really, but I'm just looking. Look at your spells and abilities. Have a chance to refund 50% of the mana spent on them, and immediately heal you for a certain amount. Okay, that's pretty cool. But yeah, interesting. I'm very curious to see how you guys will react to this one. Nullification Dinamo. It's a cooldown. You gain an empowered null barrier, absorbing magic damage for 10 seconds. Okay, that's interesting. For this one, you need to rep up with the Rust Bolt resistance. This is the Mechagon faction, so this seems to be like a pretty easy one that you'll rank up. So that's why it's not like as cool as like this one right here. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Sphere of Suppression. A 1-minute cooldown. Unleash a heavy pulse of suppressive energy, reducing the movement speed of all enemies within 15 yards by 70% and reducing their damage done to you by 10% for 8 seconds. This is interesting. Okay, this is a complete achievement Battleground Initiate in Season 3 or later. Yeah, I have no idea what a Battleground Initiate is, so I guess we'll just have to move on. The Crucible of Flame. Blast your target with a ball of purifying flame, dealing damage to an enemy or healing an ally. Okay, this is the one from the initial announcement. To get this one, complete the quest Mother Knows Best in the Chamber of Heart. This will be interesting because this seems to be related strictly to quest progression, so I don't know if there's going to be some sort of long extended campaign that will make it so that this particular essence will just take time to unlock. So think of this as like the time-gated essence. Perhaps. Touch of the Everlasting. Your next death is prevented, and you instead regenerate 10% of your maximum health and take 85% reduced damage for 3 seconds. Interesting. To get this one, defeat Queen Ashara on normal difficulty. I'm guessing that by defeating her on mythic difficulty, you'll get the better version, or perhaps even if you get like ahead of the curve or even cutting edge, you'll be able to get that maximum rank. Vision of Perfection. Your spells and abilities have a chance to activate Avenging Wrath for 40% of its base duration. That's sweet! Wow, dude! Okay, that's pretty awesome. That actually is really awesome because this kind of synergizes with what has changed with Avenging Wrath lately. So if this does in fact work how I think it is, that means my spells and abilities have a chance to proc a really powerful cast of my Light of the Protector, which is myself here. This is pretty cool. To get this one, you need to complete the initial chapters of the Nazjatar War Campaign, and presumably this thing will get better and better as we progress through the quest lines for I guess the rest of the expansion. World Vein Boon. This is a 2-minute cooldown. You concentrate energy into the Heart of Azeroth, immediately causing 3 Azerite shards to erupt from the nearby ground. What is that supposed to mean? Well, there's a passive here. Every 18 to 25 seconds, a shard of Azerite erupts from the nearby ground for 12 seconds, granting you strength while you're within 8 yards of it. So, I guess these Azerite shards you get 3 of them to pop up. And I guess that does a cool thing. This comes from a vendor in Nazjatar, and that's really all it says. I'm not quite sure how you would get better ranks. So taking a look at this, these top essences, they are what they are. But then I'm seeing here other roles. So I guess these are essences that are particular to to non-protection, non-protection stuff, as well as just generic paladin traits, which is kind of cool. So it is pretty neat that there are a number of different essences that are based on your specialization. And I'm just going to go through these 2. So, Artifice of Time. This is a 4-minute cooldown. This creates a time vortex around a friendly target, absorbing a lot of damage, well, and even healing too. To get this, okay, this is also Battleground Initiate in Season 3 Higher. So let's keep going through these, and I'll just look at the requirements for these really quick. Okay, this is also Battleground Initiate, so that's Holy, that's Ret. Okay, this is interesting. So there are, based on whatever your spec is, just meet these requirements and you'll be able to unlock the essences based on this spec. That's what it sounds like so far, because these requirements are pretty much the same as everything else. So cool. Okay, that's pretty nifty. But yeah, let's move on to the other stuff really quick. Okay, so this is a 2-minute cooldown. Blood of the Enemy. Your Heart of Azeroth erupts, dealing shadow damage to enemies within 12 yards. You also gain a 25% critical strike chance against the target for 15 seconds. Essence of the Focusing Iris. Focus excess Azerite energy into the Heart of Azeroth, then expel that energy outward, dealing fire damage to all enemies in front of you over 2.5 seconds. Guardian of Azeroth. This is a 5-minute cooldown. Call upon Azeroth to summon a Guardian of Azeroth to aid you in combat for 30 seconds. Oh, sweet, a cool little pet. Oh, that's pretty awesome. Even if it's a 5-minute cooldown. Lifebinder's Invocation. This is a 3-minute cooldown. With the cast time, okay. Implant 30 seeds of ENR divided over all allies within 30 yards. Okay, what do these seeds do? Does it say anything? Actually, it kind of does, because that's the minor power. And in this case, it says that your heals have a very high chance to implant a seed, and if the target takes damage, the seed bursts, healing them for a certain amount. So this is kind of like a one-time use of, oh, I don't know, a prayer of mending. You know, it's just that it doesn't bounce. So I think that's pretty neat. It's kind of like a bubble of sorts. Purification Protocol. This has a 1-minute cooldown. Call down a purifying beam upon the target area, dealing damage over 6 seconds. Any aberration stuck by the beam is stunned for 8 seconds. Okay, this is interesting because this is particular to a certain kind of mob type. Now, this also comes from I'm just kind of pointing this out, this also comes from the Rustbolt Resistance, so this is one of the likely kind of essences that we'll be able to get pretty easily. We'll be able to max them out fairly quickly. I'm going to be curious to see just how much use this particular essence is going to have, since it's specific to a certain kind of mob. The Ever-Rising Tide, only a 30-second cooldown. Overcharge the Heart of Azeroth, causing each spell you cast to increase your healing by 4% for 8 seconds, but halting your mana generation. Lasts for 10 seconds. That's a little interesting. Comparing this to some of the, I mean, I guess it's because this is a particular, this is a spec-specific essence. This is just a different kind of mana regeneration essence. The passive, it looks like it does restore mana based on cast, and that's going to be a really powerful thing. I have a feeling that stuff that regenerates your mana is going to be a very widely used essence among healers. The Unbound Force. Unleash the forces within the Heart of Azeroth, causing shards of Azerite to strike your target for damage over 2 seconds. This damage is increased by 300% if it critically strikes. Okay, this is clearly something that's going to be, you know, much better for certain specs as opposed to others, depending on the amount of crit strike that you have. But this is pretty neat. The passive here says that each time you critically strike, you gain a stack of Reckless Force, up to 5. Every 10 seconds, your next spell or ability will blast your target with a bolt of Azerite energy, dealing 595 damage per stack of Reckless Force. This is pretty cool looking. The Well of Existence, which is an only 15-second cooldown. Release all healing stored in the Well of Existence into an ally. Okay, I guess we need to definitely read the passive for this too. 20% of your overhealing is stored in the Well of Existence. When you heal a target under 50% health, the well releases up to a certain amount of its stored healing into them. That's really interesting. Now there are things that we don't know about this. Like, we don't know how big this Well of Existence is. So if we, like, I don't know, if we just happen to have a lot of extra mana, I guess it would be like ideal to just jam yourself full of overhealing and just keep healing targets throughout the fight and save it for like a really big moment. It'll just really depend on, again, how high of a cap is this Well of Existence, because if it's really, really high, or if it's infinite, that could make for a really interesting heal, wouldn't it? And Vitality Conduit. Direct the Vitality Conduit toward an ally. Every 0.5 seconds for 6 seconds, they absorb health from the highest health ally within 30 yards. I think I should reread this one. Okay, Vitality Conduit. Direct the Vitality Conduit toward an ally. every 0.5 seconds for 6 seconds, they absorb 1,000 a certain amount of health from the highest health ally within 30 yards. So I guess it's kind of sort of like a spirit walker totem or a spirit totem that shaman use, where they sort of redistribute health. It's just that instead it's directed towards one target. So like, let's say I'm as a tank, I have, I'm getting my butt beaten down. What this thing will do, it's going to, I guess, steal health from high health allies and give it back to me. So yeah, it's just kind of a health transference sort of ability. That's kind of neat. I'll be interested to see. I'm not that much of a healer kind of person, but I'm interested to see how healers react to a ability like this, especially something that is usable just every minute. So that pretty much knocks out all the essences here. As you can see, I have nothing unlocked. I literally just got to this feature and I saw what's here along with the sources, and I'm like, oh, maybe I should talk about this really quick and share it with all of you folks at home and elsewhere. So that's pretty much it for me. I'll count on a lot more PTR coverage. This is just something that I wanted to really kind of vomit out really quick, but I'm eager to share more with you. So stay tuned, make sure that you like the video and subscribe for more of this and all things Warcraft. I'll see you folks soon. Until then, stay safe, stay happy, and stay breezy.